5 lessons that I have learned that I will use for life. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, family. And like the title says, today I'm bringing you 5 lessons that I have learned from motorcycling. Now these 5 lessons are some things that you kind of know, but it just gets really reinforced when you're on top of a bike. Number 1, people are not concerned with your well-being. How many times have you heard people say, today I'm leaving my house and I'm going to be a better driver? I have never heard people say that before. If people were concerned about each other's health, they wouldn't be on their phones like that. Do you think that man is concerned if he hits a scooter or another person? That man is only thinking about his Instagram follows. And look, this guy, he's not worried too. How many mistakes are you gonna see out here? And like I said before, you can't lose your cool and not expect people to make these mistakes. You know, as I was riding back there, I knew that, and he had his blinker on too, okay? But I knew that there was a chance that someone's gonna come out. And when you're on the bike, it is you and only you. You cannot expect this man to take care of me. I cannot expect anybody to take care of my body and my health. If I get hit out here, it is me who's going to pay the consequences for the rest of my life. Nobody else is concerned with your health. Nobody else is concerned with your well-being. It is you and yourself only. People are much more distracted than I have ever realized that they are. I think we have a worldwide problem with focus, because it is hard for people to focus on anything else other than their phones nowadays. And I'm not just talking about people being on their phone while they're driving. People are also on their phone while they're riding bikes, and they're holding them up. That's why I actually really like this mount. And people being distracted is just a part of life. It is something that you have to be ready for. You cannot force people into being focused. So when you leave your home and when you get on your bike, you have to expect that people are just not gonna be focused at all. You have to be ready for that. But I'm actually also talking about people don't get good sleep. They're not, their minds are just so distracted with all the stuff that is happening in their own lives that they can't just be focused on riding or on driving their cars, which makes it even worse, right? Because you're driving this 3,000-pound machine that can really injure someone. But you have to leave your house expecting people to be distracted. If you go out and you expect people to see you and to not be distracted, you're setting yourself up to failure. We all make mistakes, but when you're surrounded by a lot of people all the time, especially here when there's 100 scooters next to you, a certain percentage of these people are bound to make a mistake that can really hurt you. So you have to leave your home kind of expecting that, and when you have that mentality, it helps you stay a bit more patient. Because here's the fact: if you lose your patience and you lose your cool, you might lose your freedom. That person can make a left in front of me right now, and you know, I'm not gonna be happy about that. But if I go up to that person and I lose my cool and we get into an altercation, there is a good chance that I'm gonna be in the wrong now. and I might lose my freedom, or I might create a situation that was uncalled for. That person may have cut me off. Maybe I use my horn right here to let her know or let him know that they made a mistake, but you got to keep going with your life, because if you try to teach the entire world how to drive, you're gonna live your life with a headache. Expect people not to be focused, because they're just not focused at all. They leave their homes tired, they don't sleep well, they're drinking the night before. How can I expect them to care about me? You can't. Say this guy right here delivering food all day in one of the worst traffics in the world. Taxi drivers who are driving out here in one of the worst traffics in the world, or you'll think of like New York City or whatever. Dude, your mind is already kind of hot. You're hot-headed all day. You know, because you're all day surrounded by people who are making mistakes, and it is even harder to stay cool when other people's mistakes can cost your life, or they can injure you to a point where you're gonna be affected for the rest of your life, right? But losing your cool is going to make everything so much worse. So you can't expect other people to stay focused, but you can do your best to stay focused yourself. And people being distracted is connected to my second lesson, which is stay focused. I can't force that man right there to stay focused, but I can do my best myself. There's a saying in the military which is stay alert, stay alive. That cannot be more true when it comes to riding bikes. A lot of times, if you're not alert, that's when bad things happen. When you get too comfortable in your situation, that's when bad things happen. And how do you stay alert? It actually starts before you leave your home. Having a cup of coffee does help. Sleeping well obviously really helps too. How do you keep your mind functioning well? You have to get a good night of sleep every single night, like a religion. And obviously a cup of coffee does help, but if you keep your body in good shape and you're constantly working out, not just to look good, man, but to be capable of living a healthy life, go out for walks, keep your blood flowing, you know what I mean? What matters to me is that I am doing my best to staying alive and to stay in focus here, because again, I can't force people to stay focused. I can only do that for myself. And keeping your body efficient and your mind healthy is something that you can control, which leads me to my third lesson learned while on the bike, which is expect things to go wrong. Look, there's a taxi right there coming up behind me. I'm giving him a little bit of space right here already, because he might swerve a little bit into my lane. And again, this lesson is also connected to the fact that people are distracted. So I have to expect that. I have to expect that this dude who's making a left might just decide to go straight, cut in front of me. Or I have to expect that the person behind me who is now stopped, but before she stopped, I have to be thinking that maybe she will not. Maybe that person will not stop. Maybe that scooter in front of me is gonna decide to make a left out of nowhere. And I've seen that happen. So the more you're out here, the more patterns you start to recognize with the roads. So expect things to go wrong. Other people seems to be the main danger out in these roads. And I had an instance where the light was turning red and the person behind me was not about to stop. And luckily, I always remember this lesson on the MSF course, that when you're about to come to a stop, go in first gear and don't leave first gear until the person behind you stops as well. Which means that don't just go into neutral as soon as you stop. Make sure that the person behind you is also stopping. And I had an instance where this guy who seemed to be drunk was coming in at full force, man, and he almost hit me. He might have saved me from an injury that could have lasted my entire life. So not only do you have to stay alert to stay alive, but you also have to be expecting things to go wrong. I think this is a Taiwanese Air Force base right here. I see a big airplane right there, and lots of airman training. Shout out to all military personnel from whatever country you're from. Big respect to you for protecting your home. All of our service members out there, big respect from me. Any country that you're from, Taiwan or America, obviously especially America to me, but shout out to you if you're part of any military forces, because you're protecting your home, you're protecting your family, ensuring that your country is safe, and that's something that we need more of. Oh, you see this shit? This guy decided to freaking stop right there, man. Anyways, that's what I was saying. Expect things to go wrong. And when I say expect things to go wrong, I'm also not only talking about other people, man. You might be having an off day yourself, or a tire might pop. What happens if you bought this bike to go touring and you're far from your home and your tire pops and there's no one to change your tire for you? Or do you have a tire kit? Do you have a tire patching kit on you? When I go on tours out here, I also bring a satellite, because you can't really rely on connectivity up on mountains all the time. So what happens if your engine stops working and now you're up in the mountain in freaking countryside Utah, and you can't contact anybody because your phone is not working? What are you gonna do? It's nighttime. Whatever it is, man, you have to be thinking of all these scenarios that could go wrong and be ready for them. You can't be exactly ready for 100% of the problems in life, but you can be ready for as many as possible. The more situations that you're ready for, the longer you might stay alive for. And the fourth lesson that I learned while riding this bike in the last year is that you can never stop improving your craft. Don't stop improving your craft. That being riding your bike, doing your job, being a father, being a better student. Look, man, there's always more to learn. And it's interesting because ever since I started making these videos for you, I have also learned a lot about my own bike. I have also learned a lot about my own riding abilities, because I get to rewatch all these videos and see some of the mistakes that I make and some of the mistakes that other people are making. And it really teaches you so much, and a lot of questions that you guys have, I don't know the answers to, and it just makes me want to research them. And we can build a stronger community that way if we can all share valuable information that will keep us alive. And there's a reason why I say that I'm still a beginner even after a year and thousands of miles on this bike. I have ridden thousands of miles in one of the worst traffics on planet Earth. Taiwan is no joke. Look, this is a beautiful country. I'm from Las Vegas, so I'm not bashing these people here. I'm very happy that they have me. They have me in their country, but the traffic here is no joke. It is certainly not for beginners. I took a big gamble when I started on this big bike in one of the worst traffics in the world. And even with that, after 1 year of riding this bike, thousands of miles, I have seen and made a lot of mistakes on the bike. And I have learned from them, but I gotta tell you that I still feel like a beginner. This humble way of thinking is helping me to continue to learn and to be hungry to learn more and more and to improve my own skills in every way that I can. And my fifth lesson on this bike is that I am learning to be more and more courageous. When you realize the dangers of riding a bike and all of the things that you put in line every time that you jump on two wheels, you become more courageous. And I'm a strong believer that courage is a muscle. After a certain amount of time that you're away from your bike, let's say when the winter comes and you have to put your bike in storage because it's snowing every day outside, especially in the East Coast, and you get back on your bike after the winter, there's a certain feeling of relearning how to ride, at least to me. There's a certain feeling of being more cautious again. You're just not as comfortable as you were when you were riding every single day. Just like if I stay away from running and my cardio exercises for a long period of time, or lifting for long periods of times, we can no longer lift the same amount of weight. We can get back to that level, but we have to go slowly. And it's the same with courage. You have to be courageous to get on top of a bike, especially in one of the worst traffics on planet Earth. And over time, when you learn to be more courageous, you also become a safer rider, because when you ride with fear, it is very dangerous. Because in the back of your mind, a lot of times you know what to do. Let's say I have to merge on that side of the road, and if I hesitate too long, I might end up hitting someone or getting hit, or even worse, causing a traffic jam, and people all the way behind me are gonna end up in an accident. I'm gonna leave you with this. Don't ever forget that no one is concerned if you're gonna win. No one is concerned if you're gonna lose, or maybe they like it when you lose even more. But no one is concerned with your health and well-being out here. It's your job to stay fit. It is your job to stay alert. But if you like the content today, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay healthy.